Well, here's what I... So here's the start of my air install. It looks like there's a cross member that goes back where I thought I'd be able to take all the air stuff through. So I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet on where to go. So here's that little cross member. And then the gas tank is over here too. So it makes it even harder. So here's that little cross member where the body's bolted to. And then you got the gas tank. And there's a nice flat spot right here. But I don't think I want to come through right there because that moves everything forward more. I don't know. I got to do some more investigation. See where I can come through. Well, here's what I got to come up with. I got to have room for all this stuff behind the truck bed. The seat. But it's getting pretty tight. I got to figure out a way to mount this, and I got to see if that even clears. I don't remember if it'll clear up that high. I'll probably end up mounting it somewhere like that. So the air hose is going to go from here to here, 90 degrees there. This will go down to the tank, the pressure regulator for the bags. This is going to come down after the pressure regulator also for the lockers. I'm going to have a couple solenoids right here. This is the tank pressure. This is the kicking on and off pressure switch, 90 to 120. And I'm just hoping all this works. I'm just trying to make it work. So there's not much room. I could spread out a lot more back there, but I'm still trying to save some room. This is going to be behind the driver's side, the one that's harder to get in and out of. So we'll get it. It's just going to take some time. I bought a set of these from Amazon so I can put rubber grommets in there. I'll cut as little as a hole possible, shove it through, and then I'll silicone it up. So what I'm doing now is I'm measuring what size so I can use a hole saw to cut it out. We'll get at least the wire ran tonight, and then I got to order some through bulkhead fittings for the 3/8 stuff, or the 1/4 inch air stuff. That way I can get a really good seal without it worrying about it water leaking in there. And then I'll start working on the air part. I need to put these sensors in. This is the block for the airbags. 4 solenoids, so a set for each side. One set's going to fill them, the other set's going to drain them. So I need to put a Teflon tape on this, and you always put the Teflon tape so when you're screwing it on, it can't come off. So put this in here, put it on like that. When you screw it on, it can't come off. Alright. Now flatten it out. Now screw it on. I'll get them tightened down and maybe the wire ran from the battery up into there. I got a little grommet on there. I'm going to seal that with some silicone. On my wires, I've been putting this wire loom. That is this fabric wire loom. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you got to do it before you run the wire. But it just looks more factory with that stuff. I'm going to have the rest of my airlines coming in here, so I'll have to maybe put something to keep it from anything from smashing it, or just put little stuff over here. We'll see when I get done with that. That's a nice flat spot to bring everything up. I'm going to order some more through wall fittings, or through something, I don't remember, through bulkhead fittings. That way I can screw them in and have the airline go in and out without putting a whole bunch of those grommets. I still got to run a ground. I haven't made up my mind yet. I might end up running to the seat bracket, but I also might make it go down to the frame. we'll see. I'm not going all the way battery at the ground. There's no reason not to do that. There's no reason to do that. You can use the ground from the frame. So I'm here running the wire for my air system. Goes across the top of the cowl thingy, whatever you want to call it. And I need to mount. Let me get this thing. Turn that fan off too. I need to mount a couple of these somewhere. So I don't know really where to put them. But here's what I come up with. Made a piece of metal. And I'm going to bolt it right here to this battery thing. I've already bolted it there just to see how sturdy it was. It was pretty good. So I'll get them things mounted on there. Get all the paint from this, grind it off. And then paint it. And then I'll get it mounted. We're getting there. I got the parts I was waiting on. They are bulkhead fittings. So I'll be able to connect here and here and it'll be sealed. Comes with a nut. And then it comes with two sealing things. I gotta drill a bunch of holes. There was a plug in here. I think I'm gonna put one of those in there. See if we can get in there and see that plug. There's a plug in there. I took the plug out. I'm gonna put that in there. And then I got them all marked to drill 3 more here and then 1 way over here. And then I got these sealed up, my power and my ground. That way I don't get no water in here or anything. I don't need water crossings. Alright, I'm gonna see what size hole saw I need. I set this to millimeters just to make it a little easier to read. 20.53 millimeters. And a 7/8 hole saw. It's 21.34. I think that should be fine. That'll work out pretty good. We'll get them all drilled out. Running wires now from the front to the back for my air sensors. I took the center console out. I have a switch panel that's going to go right here for the air lockers and air compressor and not sure what else yet. I think I got 6 that'll fit there and I only need 3 right now. Gotta run some wires to the center console. I think I'm going to take the seat out to do that. Along the tray and back to the back. I took the center console trim piece out. There was a little hole right in there, so I cut the rest of it out. And then this little switch panel I found on eBay will go in there, and it comes with 2 push pins. I'll put the push pins, drill a hole there in the front to hold that in. And then here's the switches I bought. Come with little pigtails. More things I found on eBay. Probably last like 30 days and I'll be replacing them. But we'll try it. Now I took the little cup holder thing out. There's 2 screws here. 1, 2. And then there's a bunch of little pins. 4 little pins. 6 little pins. That you can take the boot off. That goes around the shifter. And then I got these little things that are going to be for my airbags in the back. So I can air them up individually. Alright, I was able to get a wire through that chase up. Buddy of mine put his hand down in there and into the center console. That way I can get my wires ran. Underneath there, the center console and back to the back. I'm getting there. Took the seat out, make it easier. So now I'm going to start my wiring on my airbag stuff. And the switches I bought to air the airbags up and down, they're called momentary switches. So they don't stay in the position. Center off, on, on. So the back of them will have 3 prongs. And just so I don't get confused later, center prong is your common. So when you put the switch, it goes from center to outside either way, depending on which way you flip the switch. I'm gonna make this easy on myself. And this meter, get you a meter that has tone. Makes everything a lot easier. So you can hear the tone. So I put that on there. I hold that on there. And I flip the switch. If you flip the switch towards this post, it does not make connection. So that goes backwards, and that is now toning out. Then you go to the other one. Now I'm flipping that forward like I'd be sitting in the truck. And then these switches right here, they got lights on them. Depending on how you hook up the power for them, they got lights on them. So I'm going to test and see how I want these. And the way that shows it is black is positive for the light, white is negative for the light, and then blue is common. So being blue is common, I'm going to write that down because I'll forget tomorrow or later today, who knows. About 10 minutes I'm done. I'm going to put blue on common here. And then I'm going to call it normally open. I want to find my open wire. Now, red's the closed when the switch is off. When the switch is on, then it is open. So I want this one with the switch. So I found that the blue and the green is what I want. So the blue, see the blue and the green, when you push them, when you push the switch in, will make the tone. We'll make the tone. So that's the one I want. Blue, green. So also what I'm going to do is I'll use these little test leads that I got. I'm going to test the light in each one just to make sure it works first. So since black is positive, I'm going to actually hook this up backwards. Just so I remember that black goes to black right now since I'm testing this. Black and white. Then you should see the little light on. Look at that. So I'm going to test them all just to make sure they all work before I install all this. I don't want to do it twice. There's a couple different ways to wire these switches. As soon as I find my little test lead, there it is. So to my light, there's a light in here. Most switches don't need a negative unless there's some kind of little control circuit in there, like inside your house would be dimmers or something like that, or motion sensors. But there's a couple ways to wire this. You can wire this to hot all the time. No matter what you do with that switch, it stays on. Well, you can see it. Then you can make this go to like your interior lights or something when those come on, or not interior lights, your running lights. So when those come on, these come on. Or the way I'm going to wire it is my blue is my common. So I'm going to have a power coming into that. And then my green is my switch leg that is going to be my switch leg. So that's going to turn on and off. So this will also go to my accessory, whatever I'm controlling. So now when I turn it on, the switch is on. When it's off, the switch is off. So these are going to be air compressor, airbag, or lockers. And then the other two switches sit like right here. All right, let's see if I can explain this in one take. So I got everything written down on what colors I used where. So the first guess I couldn't do it. I got everything. So the red wire is going to be my positive. It goes to the first three switches, which is the blue, which is the common of the switch. And then the white wires, which is all this, is the negatives for the lights in the switch. It's the only thing the negatives are for. You don't need a negative. The other switches don't have lights in them, so therefore you don't need a negative. And then now I got the each one of the switches has a wire that goes, it's going to go to the back. I'll wire that all up back there. But I got the black for the light and then the open wire. That way when I press the switch down, this closes, makes contact, and then I'll be able to power this. The light will come on when it's on. That way I know when the switch itself is on. And then the red wire is actually closed. The contacts are connected when the switch is up. So you got to make sure, if you have switches like that, you got to make sure they're all capped off. If not, you're just gonna have a live wire sitting in there. So let me get this back installed. Which you got to put this thing in park, or put this thing in gear so you can pull it back, and it really just pops up. It's pretty easy, but you just got to do it. You just got to pull the gear shifter back and lift up the center console. All right, it all seems to work like it should. I just got the 3 set. The only thing I did do, since I had that thing sitting straight up and down like that, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the top to the bottom instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like I wanted to do. But I fixed it. I just changed my wiring around. So they all work. The other ones work when I have the other power. I have 2 separate power sources, since this is just for all my air stuff and lockers and these ones. Well, we're getting there. Now I'm gonna put that all back in. Here's the next part of my project. I got an air pressure gauge. It's gonna be for tank pressure, and then left and right bag pressure. I got 2 more wires. These are 6 conductor wires running from here to behind the seat where everything's gonna be mounted. The sensor wires that came with it weren't really long enough to get there. So we'll get that all wired up. There is one for the, if you can see that. There is one for the headlight switch, but I'm just gonna leave that out for now, just cap it off. And then the red wire I'll just do hot all the time. And the 12-volt ignition switch, I'm gonna make it so it comes on when I turn the compressor on. Kind of that way I know that the power is getting back there. And then the power for this also gonna come from the same wire as the compressor trigger circuit. That way I know that it's still got power. Well, let me get this done. By no means am I calling this a simple air system. Here's my little manifold that's gonna go in there. So we'll get it done. The bottom will go down to the tank. Just the on and off pressure switch, on at 90, off at 120. Just an extra hole. This is the tank pressure for the gauge I'm going to install up front. And then this is going to the lockers and stuff. Lockers and airbags. So I gotta get this installed. I had to drill this out so I can put some number 6s, because the hole was like number 4 size screws, but they didn't have none that were long enough. So I got some 1.5" number 6s. We'll try that. I think this is what I'm going to use to mount the compressor. I drilled some holes. We'll see if I can fit it in there. Well, as you saw, that was kind of a pain in the butt. Let's go underneath and check it out. There's one screw. The other screw must be inside. And then, I don't know if you can see that one. Let's see. You can see that one way back in there. There's another screw way back in there. And then there's my little, all my through fittings, or what were they called? I don't know. Fittings that go through, bulkhead fittings, that's what it is. So that should be mounted pretty good now. So here's the point I'm at now. Got the compressor mounted. Got my continuous duty solenoid. My little fuse blocks, ground block. I forgot to get a 3/8 national pipe thread to 1/2 inch barb fitting. So my hose is gonna go from here. I'm gonna try to wrap it around behind all this, and then up and down through there. And then now I just need to hook up a whole bunch of wires. I'm just trying to figure out a way to make it look neat back here. Haven't decided yet. We'll figure out something. And then hopefully there's enough room over there to mount my locker solenoid. I'm still waiting on them to show up, but we're getting there. All right, I got my wire in to the back behind the seat, and I built this little bracket and drilled holes, just this little plastic thing. I think it'll be sturdy enough. And then I put a breaker there. I'm gonna put a 50 amp breaker there for back there, but that one ended up I broke the corner off of it, so I gotta order a new one. And then I'm gonna make a little piece of wire. It goes from my breaker to my terminal. Strip it back. Oh, before you strip it back, put on your heat shrink tubing just to make it look a little better. I'm just using crimp connectors for all this. Put that in there. They make bigger crimps for this, but I just do it twice and it seems to be holding pretty good. And just pull on it. Heat shrink it. I bought a big roll, like 100-foot rolls of heat shrink tubing. Looks a little better. Put my wire loom, the cloth wire loom, and then I just tape it up. And I don't have no black heat or red heat shrink, or I'd be using red. I'm not gonna buy any either. And then I'm just gonna tape them with red. I got some of the good 3M tape. Well, it kind of works. I still got some stuff to hook up with the airbag stuff and then hoses underneath. But I got some leaks, so I'm gonna take some soapy water, find out where my leaks are. I got it temped in right now to my house air compressor, and I ordered a 48 volt continuous duty solenoid instead of a 12 volt, so I need to get a new solenoid, but we'll get it. Well, I got a shitload of leaks everywhere. These little things are leaking, or I screwed them in there. It's leaking over on that one. I think this is leaking a little bit. I got some different Teflon tape I'm going to try, but apparently when I drilled that hole out, it's so close that now that hole's leaking. I need another whole new block. Solenoid I got to order. So I guess we're on hold for a little bit. Alright, here's the final setup for now. I just put some wire loom on there. I got to clean up that a little bit more probably. And I got to get my solenoids for my air lockers. Once I do that, I'll be done. Everything works though. Here's my little gauge that I put in. The passenger side airbag, driver side airbag, and tank pressure. I got it hooked up to my house right now because I ran a hose to the back and I just got a connection on it. I got some leaks to fix. There's where I put the air tank, just a 1 gallon. I don't know if you can see in the video, there's a lot of leaks. I used some white Teflon tape. They make some gray stuff that's better, more expensive. So I'm gonna take all that back down and try to fix all that. And then that other hose goes out to the back. And it's just right here for now. Oop. It's just right here for now. I'm going to end up putting that up into the bed, but I just got a male to male going to my compressor at the house, so I didn't have to hear it run the whole time. Plus I don't really like running that compressor unless it's started. It draws a lot, that way it gives it more volts. So that'll go up inside eventually in the bed. I just got to get my bed situated how I want it before I drill holes in there. Well, that's the air system. Stay tuned for some electrical, and then I'll be outfitting the bed eventually. And then I'm gonna have a shop put in gears and lockers Pretty sure I'm going, well, I did order 456s. I keep going back and forth between 456s and 411s. We'll see where I get. Well, thanks for watching. You have a good day. See ya.